Normally, the cars are the stars, but this weekend, it's the tires. Will it be slicks? Will it be intermediates? Or will it be rain tires? Nobody's sure, but it's the main point of the day. The reason is simple. It rained like this yesterday in qualifying. Today, it is also sprinkled as the cars were lining up. The clouds hang heavy. It's a weather question. This is the man that dominates so far, Laurent Aiello. Leads the points, leads in victories, a tough man to beat. And this is one of the young challengers in a Honda, Marco Werner. He has come on strong, particularly after races at the Nürburgring. He wants to do better here. Here being the Sachsenring in Germany in the Super Touring Car Cup. Hello everyone, this is Milt Fitzwater reporting from the Sachsenring near Chemnitz, Germany. Great crowd on hand for the racing today. Second year these cars have appeared at this very demanding track. Special ceremonies of all kinds before the race today. As you can see, everybody is just about ready to see if this man can do it again. Laurent Aiello for the third time this season. He's on the pole. A tough man to beat, and he picked the right time between raindrops to take the pole.
And yes, I think we were together very lucky to set a time at that moment because the track was nearly dry. And we were out with slick tires, and yes, we've done a very good time at that moment.
Also doing a good time, the man coming out of the pits here, the Honda of Marco Werner on the outside pole. He was disqualified in the second race of the Nürburgring. This is a chance to come back.
Yeah,
I would like to pick right up where we left off at the Nürburgring. Of course, we'll have to see what happens during the race, but actually I'm very happy to be on the front row. This man, one of the title contenders, Johnny Ceccato in the BMW, starts third in the race today, and his teammate, Jochen Winkelhock, also challenging for the title, starts right next to him. There's a look at the course, 3.5 kilometers long, it's 2.1 miles, it's difficult.
This course circuit here is perfect. It's a little Nürburgring, and I like it, but the problem for me is we have always different conditions. It's wet, it's dry, and that's a problem for me in a moment. But this is for all the same problem, and I hope I bring the best.
And this is the new man in the field, Dirk Müller, 21 years old. He was supposed to start it earlier this season, but he's getting his chance now. Cars lining up. Aiello in the yellow Peugeot on the right. The fans getting ready for the race. Everyone's lined up. Time to wait for the green on the left in that red Honda. Red and white Honda. Marco Werner. First race of the day here in the Sachsenring. The sprint race. Waiting for the green. Here we go. Let's see who gets the jump. They've got a right-hander coming up after the long straightaway. Everybody's bunching together. Marco Werner gets a bad start and drops back. Meanwhile, Aiello gets a great jump. So does Pirro. He's running up with the lead group. Get a great look at the crowd here. And Johnny Ceccato has spun out. He had started third. He spun out. Can he get it going again and come back on the course? He is, but he's way back in the field. So one of the contenders for the points race is going to have to fight his way through if he wants to gain points here in the first race of the day at the Sachsenring. Everybody else working their way through this very hilly, curvy course. Here they'll make a left-hander going downhill. A very fast left-hander here. A short straight. And Aiello is right in front of Winkelhock. Aiello, the man of the season so far. He has won 2 of the 3 sprint races so far. Back in the pack, you're looking in the Abt car. Ahead of him is Uwe Alsen as they head through the chicane. Now this is the back part of the course headed down toward the original part, which is a street course. Pirro with Marco Werner right behind him, and Werner wants to get by. He can't do it. Now there's the old tower as they head left here. There's a short straight which will take them back to the start-finish line. One of the fastest parts of the course here. It'll bend a little bit to the right as they head back in. That is Jörg van Omen in the sister car. For the Aiello car, which you see are on the right, your leader. Followed by Jochen Winkelhock. And then comes the Audi of Pirro, and then the Honda of Marco Werner, and the Opel of Uwe Alsen. A good mix of makes right up front here at the Sachsenring. They head downhill here through a series of S-curves. There is a right-hander at the bottom. They head back up the hill again. Take another look at what happened to Johnny Ciccato. It looks like he got bumped by Marco Werner and goes off the course. Another view from the apt car. Werner touched him. Well, they'll talk about it, I'm sure, afterwards, who was at fault. But everybody else got by. Your leader remains Laurent Aiello, and Jochen Winkelhock is right behind him. And the Niedzwitz car has gone off the course. Klaus, having his problems this year, has not done as well as he would like, and now he's got his problems here in the sand at the Sachsenring. Once again, we're heading up the hill to complete the lap as Aiello has Winkelhock right on his back bumper. Winkelhock has not won a race this season. Although he's right up there in the points, he has finished well, but he has not won one. And the two cars are certainly putting some distance between themselves and the third place car, Marco Werner. Alsen is now into fourth place. Van Omen is fifth. Pirro is sixth. So we've had a change back in the pack. And you look at those bright colored Audis, the apt team. You're riding with one as he looks at his teammate Chris Nissen ahead of him, and a car has gone off. Michel Bartel's car has gone off the course. Bartels in the Opel, also having a season where they're trying to get the car to run. He's had to struggle. Not a happy man here. He's mad. Have to wait to see if we can find out what happened. He seems to be okay, but he's not happy about the car. Here's what happened to Niedzwitz. It's kind of hard to tell if he spun out himself or was helped as he goes off into the gravel. And this is Michel Bartels. Oh, he hit the guardrail hard. He'd gotten sideways, it looked like, onto the grass and went off. Here's another look at it. It's hard to tell how he got that way. He got turned around onto the grass. The car goes sideways into the guardrail. Here's the Niedzwitz car. They've rearranged the car a little bit. He had a bump from somebody. He's trying to struggle his way back into the pits. Up front, Aiello and Winkelhock. Winkelhock has started fourth, so you can see what kind of great start he had. Alsen is running third. And Johnny Ciccato has more problems as he tangled with Vidali, or did he? Tamara Vidali's Audi has gone off the course. Have to wait and see what happened here, too. Boy, Ciccato's had a rough day. Niedzwitz is bringing his car into the pits, as is Marco Werner. Something wrong with Werner. He had been running pretty well. There is Vidali. It looks like she spun on her own, and Ciccato broke just in time to avoid her. At least that's how it looks anyway. There wasn't any damage on that side of the car, so he must have stopped just in time. There's your leader, Laurent Aiello in his Peugeot, followed by Jochen Winkelhock in the BMW. These two have run this way since the opening moments of the race. The big question here are tires, and the yellow flag is out. At this portion of the course, there is the Vidali car parked on the side of the course as the leaders come by, and the safety car is coming out. We'll have pace laps. The safety car is coming out, and the cars will have to run behind the safety car. I was going to mention the tires were going to play an important part here because tire wear is key even in this 15-lap sprint race. But now with the pace car coming out, it will slow things down, and everybody should be able to get through without any tire troubles, that's for sure. Pace car officially coming out on lap 5. There's Tamara Vidali. She's upset. And this is the Christian Donner Alfa Romeo car. He's probably upset, but he's had a difficult season all year long. So there's your standings as you see them. Aiello, and then look at this, Van Omen, Pirro, and Maassen in the Nissan is running 6th position right now. Going to work, trying to get the cars ready to come back out if they can. There's Bartel's car. He won't be coming out again. Okay, we pick it up as the safety car pulls off. Laurent Aiello waits, comes up over the little incline as it's an uphill run there coming toward the start-finish line, and we're back to green. Aiello, Winkelhoff, and then comes Alsen running third. So we head down the right-hander off that straightaway, and then we head into a short series of chicanes, which takes them down to the hard bend at the bottom of the hill, which brings them back up the hill again. This is not a permanent race course, incidentally. It is built to drive for safety testing or letting other people learn how to drive or check out cars or whatever it may be. And then they finally made it into a race course. So you could call it a temporary course, although as you can see it's well laid out and well prepared. They only race here a couple times a year. There's your third place car, Alsen, followed by Van Omen, then comes Pirro in the Audi. But Peugeot and BMW continue to dominate the field as they have all season long. Uwe Alsen right now in the Opel is running third, and that is unbelievably good. It's the best positioning so far for Opel. Alsen is running with a new phase to their motor, and obviously it's doing him some good. He's running third. Manuel Reuter also has the new motor, but is not running quite as strong. He's back in the pack around the 16th position, somewhere in there. And once again, the Peugeot and the BMW start to pull away from the rest of the field. As we look back in the pack, number 26, that white BMW, Christian Menzel, is doing extremely well. He's running in 7th place. He's one of the junior drivers, leads the junior point standings, has impressed everybody with his ability in an older BMW, and he's running right up in the top 10, so he's done well for himself. There you see the top 6. And there's the Menzel car. He's running 7th. Philip Pater, who won here last year, is running 8th. The man out in front this year is Laurent Aiello. But boy, is he being challenged by Winkelhoff. Once they go through this chicane, there is a relatively long section where they can do some slipstreaming, possibly. It might be Winkelhoff's chance. He has been trying. The question is, can he get by? So we're heading up the hill. Winkelhoff's going by, and Aiello let him by. Evidently, Aiello knew that he just couldn't hold him off much longer and didn't want to wear out his tires. They had a very long discussion in the Peugeot camp this morning, longer than normal, after the practice session, trying to figure out what they could do. They had problems last year here at this course, basically with grip and getting the car set up properly. And now evidently they still are plagued by them. Uwe Alsen continues to run third. Opel fans will certainly be happy. When you look at the crowd, and when we have some crowd shots, the Opel fans have got the white and yellow flags. You can't miss them. Look at that crowd. Fantastic crowd. Pirro running 5th. Then comes Maassen 6th. Behind him, the white BMW, Christian Menzel. Philip Pater's Audi is next. And now Van Omen is starting to challenge for 3rd place. He's pulled up right behind Uwe Alsen. Van Omen, a veteran of touring car racing. Alsen, relatively new in comparison, but Alsen is a very aggressive young driver. And Emmanuel Pirro sitting there in the Audi. Now, Pirro, the defending champion, has certainly had his share of problems with the extra weight that they were plagued with this year. They hope that some of that weight's going to be taken off. They have a lot of handicap weight because of their success last year and because they're running a 4-wheel drive car, the only 4-wheel drive car in the field. Whether it's the weight that is keeping them back or whether the other cars are just simply stronger, that is the question. Here comes Pirro. He's trying to get inside on Van Omen and couldn't do it. Van Omen shut the door. The Audi started off very slowly. They have been working their way to the front, but the one that's made the big jump to the front right now is Opel with the Uwe Alsen car. It's been interesting for us watching this because he's changed cars regularly and changed sponsors within the Opel team. And so each race you got to figure out which car Alsen is driving. Right now it's easy to tell. He's leading this trio right here. There comes Maassen, behind him Van Omen, or rather Alsen, and then comes Van Omen. From a distance, the paint job on Alsen's car looks very similar to the Nissan. We're staying with this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th here at the Sachsenring, a historic course just outside Chemnitz, Germany. There was a traffic jam today here that you just had to imagine. These people love their racing. They had sold more tickets in advance than any race so far this season. Everyone expected a good crowd, but not as many as we have now. For the weekend, it's going to be well over 90,000 people. Amazing for a temporary course. And here comes Pirot. He has gotten by Jorg Van Omen. So Emmanuel Pirot now has moved into 4th place in the Audi. Listen, these fans behind him, they're all hoping that Audi, at least the Audi fans are hoping that they can come just a little bit farther forward than they have. Pirot so far this season, his best finish in the sprint race has been a 4th place finish. So he needs to move up to improve one, but if they can finish 4th, that's not bad either. He's been in the top 5 once, top 10 twice. So the car has proven to run okay. They just have not quite run as well as the cars running up front. There's Maassen in the Nissan, followed by Philipp Peter in the Audi. He wants to pass, but there's no room to go. The weekend in the Super Touring Car Championship, there's a sprint race, and then there's a long race. The long race, 29 laps. Here comes Peter. He's trying to get by Maassen. He's inside, but Maassen isn't giving any ground. And now he's by as they head for the left-hander, taking them back up to the start-finish line. What's a little odd about the track here, the way it's laid out, since it is a safety driving area, the start-finish line really has no crowd whatsoever. The crowd is spread out in the grandstands all the way around the lower section of the course. If you want to will, the busy part of the course, and the upper part of the course here at the start-finish line really does not have many fans whatsoever, which tells you how much of that crowd is down in the lower section of the course. You get a little look at it as we head down once again through the chicanes to the lowest section. And we get a bright color, the App Team car. They've done very well for independent drivers. They've been right up there, sometimes doing better than the factory team from Audi, to the chagrin of the Audi team, of course. Here comes Pirot. He is definitely putting the pressure on Uwe Alsen. He is right there. He wants 3rd place. And he's trying to get it on the nerves of Uwe Alsen, but that's going to be a little bit difficult. Alsen may be relatively new to the sport, but he's proven that he's a tough competitor, difficult to pass. And when he wants to pass, he can make it difficult for the car ahead of him, so he's used to it. But they can't get too much closer, that's for sure. There goes Alsen, and then comes Pirot. What a battle. But as we come into the start-finish line, it's Jochen Winkelhock who takes 1st place, to the happiness of his crew. And Pirot's going to have to settle for 4th. Aiello came in 2nd. The rest of the field comes in after the sprint race here at the Sachsenring. Gabriele Raffanelli in the blue sweater there, head of Bugatti, the team that makes the BMWs go. There's your winner, Jochen Winkelhock, his 1st victory of the season. A very responsive crowd here at the Sachsenring. As you look down the finish, you see that Christian Menzel, young driver, came in 9th. but certainly Audi was much better. But the man of the day, Jochen Winkelhock. And for the Bugatti BMW team, it was a good and bad day.
Yes, unfortunately, I mean, good race because Joe won the race and we see the car is competitive. But unfortunately, Werner pushed Johnny off and he was right at the back of the field. He's pushed his way up to 15th, maybe he can come up to the top on the second race. Let's hope for best. I think both cars are very good. The tires are okay, that's the most important here. Let's go for it.
And so the mechanics go to work on Jochen Winkelhock's car as he sits back and can be happy after the Nürburgring.
Was a little present now, but yeah, it was okay. It was more or less a short race, 15 laps, but it's incredibly hard for the driver and also for the car. And for the second race, really, I don't know, because it's around 100 kilometers and it's bloody difficult. Really hard work for the tires, because now in the last 2-3 laps I had a lot of problems. Okay, of course the other cars, they have the same problem, but really I don't know which compound now we choose for the second race. But finally I'm happy to win a race.
Also very happy, Uwe Alsen and the Holzer crew. All the work they put into the Opel has finally paid off.
Yes, we had a lot of work all the times from the beginning of the season, but now it looks we are really on the front. Third place is quite good.
It looks like the new motor also is very good performance.
Yes, it's a good performance, and even some other things, you know. We're getting more and more development, and now the result you have seen, third place.
So now the mechanics go to work to get ready for the second race of the day, the feature race here in the Super Touring Car Cup at the Sachsenring. It gives us a chance to show you a little bit about the Nissan team this year. This season, the Nissan effort is under the direction of Arno Sensen of the Rosberg team. It's the first season preparing the cars for Nissan.
We started with used car, with 96 cars, and they were very used. And we had to sort out all the little problems they had in the past. And we start with the development of the car. We're starting just now, more or less. We just brought the car together that they are running properly.
At the beginning of the season, Sensen had looked forward to the 1997 version of the car, something all team managers naturally would do, but oddly enough, that's no longer the case. Sensen had a change of heart.
Yes, I changed my mind because I'm thinking in a long-term basis, and I'm thinking especially in 98. In these cars, we can change. It's such a big potential that we can make a lot of changes for next year. For example, if you fit the new front axle in these cars, we can use these in the 98 car. And I want to have all these changes made now in the 96 car, build a 98 car in the end of the year, and then we have hopefully a good car for the next season.
This car continues to improve and to everyone's approval, but those who know Sensen know he's not one to sit back on his laurels.
I want to be on the podium at the end of this year, and I want to run the championship in the very front next year, hopefully for the first place of the championship next year.
Young driver Christian Menzel came in 9th here, but he still has a lot to learn in touring cars.
I think importance is that you learn to work with the tires. Yeah? That you a tire bring 100%, and okay, the problem is you must self bring 100%. That's the problem, and I must learn a little bit more with the tires, more feeling for the tires. I think that's the importance. Yeah?
So the crowd's ready for the second race of the day here at the Sachsenring. 28 cars will start this second event, 29 laps ahead. Aiello is on the left. He finished second in there, and is in the yellow Peugeot. The winner, Jochen Winkelhock, on the right in that white BMW. Waiting for the green. We have it. Let's see who gets into that first corner. Look at the great start by Pirro on the right side. The gray Audi getting by, it looks like, Aiello. He does. Pirro with a great start. Going downhill now, and Winkelhock has the lead. Pirro is running in second place, and Aiello now is running third. Peter is running fourth. Alsen got a bad start and is running back in the fifth slot. You're riding with Christian Abt back in the pack just a little bit of ways, but a good look at the course here as there's a hard left-hander. Head downhill now. You take this gear right here wide open. There's a short straight ahead, and then they got a hard left. It's a demanding course. Here comes Aiello trying to get by Pirro for second place. He can't quite do it. And Wow, did Pirro go wide. And now Aiello is by, and he almost hit his teammate, Peter. Philip Peter almost was hit by Pirro because he went a little bit wide in the corner. Uwe Alsen is running behind the two Audis. Chris Nissen is behind him in that day glow yellow Audi. Jörg van Omen and the rest of the pack. Heading up the hill now, the short chute before the long straightaway. It's a left-hander. There's a short straight here. It makes a bend to the right, and then they come across the start-finish line. Then they head downhill a little bit into the right-hander. And Winkelhock and Aiello have pulled away from the field. A lot of late braking here going into that one. There's Pirro, and look at Alsen right behind him. So Alsen is running fourth. He had finished third in the first race. Then comes Peter, then comes Van Omen. Van Omen finished fifth in the Peugeot in the first race. So he's finished regular in that fifth slot. Seems to have a lock on that one. He finished fifth in the feature at Nürburgring, and now he's finished fifth here in the opener at the Sachsenring. And Johnny Giocato, who started back in the 15th slot, has now moved up to 9th. All within about a lap and a half. He was very upset between races. The fact that he was bumped out of after qualifying third, he was bumped off by Werner. Between races, he was very excited, a very temperamental driver. And he is charging. Coming from 15th all the way up to 8th place. He has just been moving. In fact now, let's see, he is running, if our statistics are right, he continues to move up into 7th place right now. He's riding with Aptens. The car ahead of him went off and certainly threw dirt in him. Van Omen is being challenged right now by Peter, bumping him a little bit, coming around the corner. Seen an awful lot of that tapping of each other here. Well, it's a driver's course. It's a very difficult course. It's a hard place to get around. And everybody is being very aggressive here. It started to rain during moments before the sprint race, but now things have cleared up. The clouds seem to have gone away. But here in the mountains, just outside Chemnitz, where this course is built, the weather can change very, very quickly back to rain. There's Roland Asch. He goes by Chris Nissen. This is the battle back in the pack. Roland Asch moving up into what would now be 9th place in the field. You can tell his Nissen because he's got the blue mirrors. Sasha Mazen, who is 2 places back, has the red rear view mirrors, but that's the only way you can tell the difference between those two cars. Sandwiched in between them is that day glow yellow of Chris Nissen in the Audi. The Nissens, you saw Arno Sensen talking about his cars between races. Look at this, 3 abreast going down the straightaway. Pirro is on the left. There is Alsen in the middle. And Van Omen is on the right and the yellow Peugeot. Something's got to give in this right-hander. And it's Pirro who gets ahead. It looks like Alsen has moved up a slot, but Van Omen didn't give him any room, and they kind of tapped, or he just lost it. And Alsen has dropped all the way back. It looks 7th, about 8th place. He dropped way back. So Uwe Alsen, who had finished 3rd in the first race, had been running well here, got caught on the outside and went wide. Look here. He may have been bumped, he may have lost it. It's hard to tell in those shots. One thing's for sure, he dropped off. He was able to keep control of the car, though. Kept it on the asphalt and kept on moving. There is Pirro right now battling with Van Omen. Van Omen in the sister car to Aiello, who is running 2nd because Winkelhock and Aiello have just left this group behind. The battle right now is right here. Van Omen is running 3rd, then comes Pirro, and look at that, Johnny Giocato has moved up to 5th place in that white and red BMW. He has come from 15th position to 5th, and he's working on Peter to get by, and he gets by everybody. No, that was Menzel. Menzel moves by Peter to move up. Here comes that group. There's Van Omen third. Then comes Pirro. Then comes Ceccato, and right behind Ceccato is Christian Menzel. Great drive by Ceccato. Of course, this is all going to tell later. We're early in this race. It's 29 laps long, and tires are a big question here. A lot of charging too early could mean later on you aren't going to have the grip to defend yourself in the last few laps. But Ceccato, a very aggressive driver, has moved all the way from 15th. Look at this. He is right behind Pirro, running in 5th place. Great drive. Ceccato had been right up there in the points battle, and still is. He picked up a couple of points for running 15th. But on the other hand, his teammate Jochen Winkelhock had 2 bad races at the Nürburgring, being disqualified. Being disqualified, pulled out of the race, black flagged actually. And he did not get any points at the Nürburgring in either the sprint nor in the feature, points given for both events. So now he had his bad race weekend, and Ceccato pulled ahead of him as far as teammates are concerned. And what makes it interesting is because they're teammates and because they're going for not just the Drivers' Championship, they're going also for the Manufacturers' Championship. It becomes a team competition in the last couple of races, so whoever happens to be ahead in the points will have the advantage. The other driver has to drive for the man ahead in points. So it's very important for Winkelhock, who is way out in front here, to get a lot of points and get back up in competition so that he and Ceccato are even. Neither one can be called the favorite or the #1 driver, because there is no #1 driver as of this moment on the Bugatti BMW team. You're riding with Christian Abt as we head into the right-hander. Watch how this just keeps turning. Keeps going right, and then very quickly we're into a left-hander. Very tight, very precise driving here. And Ceccato is by Pirro. Ceccato has passed Pirro, is running 3rd. There goes Christian Danner in the Alfa Romeo off the course. But look at this. It's an amazing drive by Johnny Ceccato. And Uwe Alsen continues to move up. He is in this group. But he has his work cut out for him. He was running very well up front and off wide, and now he's got to battle back once again. And Pirro is being challenged by young Christian Menzel. And behind Menzel is that gray Audi of Philip Pater. Once again, you're in the car going of Abt, and you go through the chicane on the back section. There's a short straight here, there's a bend to the right, and then we go down to the section which is the original part of the old course here. Started back in the 1920s racing here on a road course, and of course this circuit here is only 2 years old. A lot of history here, just outside Chemnitz, Germany. There goes Ceccato, there goes Pirro, there comes Wenzel. So Wenzel's running 6th right now. Pirro running 5th. Ahead of him then is Jörg Van Omen, and then comes Ceccato's running 3rd. What a battle going on here. Christian Menzel in the BMW, now trying to move up on Manuel Pirro. Pirro, your defending champion. You're riding with Christian Danner, who's had his problems today, as you saw, and you get a little look at this course. Some of the very tight corners as he's about ready to head back uphill. There comes Jörg Van Omen. Right behind him in 4th place is Johnny Ceccato. So Ceccato not running, he's running 4th behind Van Omen, and you're riding with Abt as he is passed by Manuel Reuter. Ceccato battling with Van Omen. A long way to go. This 29-lap feature race here on this 2.1-mile course. Very busy course. Nowhere can the driver really relax. There is the straight, which is right here, where you can relax. There's your 3rd place car. That is Jörg Van Omen. Behind him is Johnny Ceccato. Then comes Pirro fifth, and behind him is Wenzel. And look at Alsen. Alsen wants to get by Peter, wants to get by Philip Peter, but he can't do it. Alsen is running 8th right now. There's your top 3, Winkelhock, Aiello, and Van Omen. And Cecotto, the BMW now, is just charging against Van Omen with Pirro, and then Menzel is running 6th. Menzel has been running very, very well here. There's Van Omen. Here comes Cecotto. This is your battle for 3rd place. Cecotto has just been pushing, unbelievable. Pirro, Menzel, Peter, Alsen. Then comes Asch. Behind him, Maassen, the 2 Nissans. The leader still is Jochen Winkelhock. He and Laurent Aiello, running 1-2, have just left this group behind. They're out there running all by themselves. Running there right now for 3rd and 4th. And it looks like Cecotto has gotten by Van Omen. Yes, Cecotto now has gotten by Van Omen. He is now in 3rd place. So Cecotto has gone from 15th to 3rd. What a great race. Now he's got to hope that he hasn't used the tires up too much. Van Omen has been very consistent. He has always finished right up there where he needs to. He's been in the points. He has not won a race here in his first season in the Super Touring Car Championship, but he has always been finishing up there. He's finished 3rd, he's finished 4th. He's been up into the 5th slot a couple of times. He has always been in the points. Just not up there enough yet to win. Here comes Alsen. He wants to try to get by Peter. He can't do it. That's the battle for 7th place. Menzel is running 6th, the white BMW. Then comes Philip Peter in the gray Audi. And then right behind him in that very colorful Opel is Uwe Alsen. And Alsen wants to get by. Look at this, right up on the back bumper. He's trying it, not quite. Not enough room. Left-hander, the short chute, down the straightaway. Christian Menzel has his mirrors full of an Audi and an Opel. There comes Cecotto. He's your 3rd place car. Behind him is Van Omen. Then comes Pirro. And Menzel's getting a challenge from Philip Peter. They're running side by side. Still going down through the chicane. Menzel is not letting off. The young driver holding on, and Philip Peter went wide. And look at that. Uwe Alsen took advantage and moved up a slot. Uwe Alsen moves up a slot into 7th place. Philip Peter wanted to try to get by Menzel, made a mistake, and lost a position. So Uwe Alsen continues his charge. Your top 3, Winkelhock, Aiello, and Cecotto. The question now is tires. Both Cecotto and Alsen have made charges here early. It'll be interesting to see how this one ends up, simply on the tire basis. Alsen is now by Menzel. And so Uwe Alsen now has taken over 6th place. Started 3rd, got outside in an unfortunate situation, dropped all the way back to 8th. He has now moved back up to 6th spot. Menzel, and then comes Philip Peter. This is the Christian Abt. He's in the pits. So is Alfred Hager in the Honda. And he's going back out. Now coming to the end of lap 15, ready to start lap 16. Your leader remains Winkelhock with Aiello 2nd. Here comes your 3rd place car, Van Omen, then Pirro. Look at Alsen working on Cecotto, and they bump a little bit in their right-hander after the long straightaway. It looked like with the smoke, Cecotto really held off on braking to the last moment. Alsen had the line and got by him. So Uwe Alsen now has moved up to 5th place. Chicotto has dropped back to 6th spot. He had been as high as 3rd and then has dropped back a little bit. Maybe he's used up the tires a little bit more than he wanted to, or he's starting to conserve them. You can see the right tires were smoking. He waited to the last moment before getting on them. And Alsen did too. And Alsen came through ahead of him. Alsen's pulling away from him, in fact. Johnny's dropped back just a little bit. Here comes Pirro. Pirro is now battling Jorg van Olmen. The question is, let's see what Uwe Alsen has to say about this. There he is. What a great battle here. 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. Pirro has been battling van Olmen all this time, while Alsen's just been simply trying to catch up with the leaders here. Pirro gets back in line, see if he might be able to slipstream here. No, it won't be him. It looks like Alsen's going to slipstream, and they bump. And Pirro gets sideways. He holds on to it. Emanuele Pirro held on, kept the car on the track, and Uwe Alsen got by him. It looked like they bumped a little bit just before that right-hander. That's one of those you talk about after the race. One says he didn't quite brake on time. The other one says he had the line. It gets to be a lot of finger shaking at each other, but the question is, it's hard to decide on those. But they'll talk about that one, I'm sure. So van Olmen now is running 3rd, and behind him is the charging Uwe Alsen. Pirro is behind Alsen, and Johnny Chicotto seems to have dropped back. He is not a part of the group. So he's probably starting to take care of his tires. We still have a number of laps to go. So now it's a matter of, after the charge, can they keep going? The one you wonder about is that car right there, Uwe Alsen in the Opel, as he continues to charge. 3rd place in the first race. Started and got up to 3rd place in the second. Then unceremoniously dropped back to 8th. And he went wide in the corner. And now he's got Jorg van Olmen lined up here as they head down the straight to the start-finish line. Let's see what happens here. He's had some passing moves here that certainly will be discussed afterwards, but he doesn't try anything here on van Olmen as they head down the hill. Uwe Alsen is the driver of the day here. He has put on a show. Chicotto put on a show, but Alsen's continues. Let's take another look of it. Pirro came in and cut in front of him, and they bumped, obviously. It's a matter of, did Pirro cut too far over, or did Alsen brake late, or did Alsen run into him? A lot of the points for discussion there. Christian Donner getting out of his Alfa Romeo. Another disappointing day for the Alfa team. Here comes van Olmen, and right behind him, Uwe Alsen. Alsen is not let up. It doesn't look like the car is any worse for wear after that slight bump with Pirro. He just continues to charge. Here we come into the left-hander to head uphill. Alsen goes inside on the short chute. We haven't seen the leaders do that. He did it on 3 wheels, too. That back wheel on the driver's left side there was off the ground. Wow. Uwe Alsen has now moved into 3rd place. What a great charge. Watch that that left in this shot here. He gets up off the ground. See it? Wow. So now we come into the last lap. Alsen has been running 3rd, and look at the move. He's now caught up with Laurent Aiello, who is running 2nd. Jochen Winkelhock, this is next to the last lap, actually. Jochen Winkelhock has been out in front. No one has bothered him at all. For him, it's a matter of conserving tires and bringing this one home. For Laurent Aiello, it's now a matter of defending his 2nd place and the points to go with it. These are very important points. both for Winkelhock and for Aiello. As we explained, for Winkelhock particularly, that gets him back up with his teammate. Uwe Alsen, meanwhile, is making threatening moves to try to take over second. There went Winkelhock. Here comes the rest of the field. There's Alsen. Coming up on a lapped Audi. Aiello has not been able to challenge Winkelhock at all, and he has not been challenged himself until the last couple of laps when Alsen has been right there with him. Heading up in the last moments of this race, it doesn't look like Alsen's going to be able to make this move. It looked like this man, Jochen Winkelhock, will win his second race of the day here at the Sachsenring. His first feature race of the season, second race of the day, taking the sprint and the feature in a happy BMW team. There's your winner, Jochen Winkelhock. There's a very happy Gabriella Raffanelli, the head of the Bugatti BMW team that put the car together for Jochen Winkelhock. You can also be happy that Chicago had such a great charge. And look at the fans. They enjoyed the racing today here at the Sachsenring. Jochen Winkelhock applauds himself for the victory. And there they are, the top 10. Christian Menzel 7th, but the day belonged to Jochen Winkelhock. And it looked like he had a control all the way.
You know, from outside it looks easier than it was because I pushed the first. Really, I didn't expect to win the race because I had such a lot of problems already in the sprint race, which was only 15 laps. And the tactic for me was to push really hard in the first 10 laps, and then there was a gap between 3 and 4 seconds. So then I slowed down to save the tires. Then I pushed again very hard for 3-4 laps. Then I reduced the speed again to save the tires, and this was finally the success here.
It also kind of makes up for the Nürburgring in a little bit in the fact that you're back in the points race.
Yeah, exactly, and this makes me so happy because after this race at the Nürburgring, which was not a good result, so I must say I'm really happy to win both races here in Sachsenring.
And there is the point standings. Aiello still out in front. Chicago is second. Winkelhock now a very strong third place. But Aiello had a tactical race.
Yes, for sure. It was, for me, it was a problem with the tires. As I told you before, we had a problem with the contents of the tires. We knew exactly what will be the race, because when we came here on Friday, we had exactly the same problem as last year, general grip problem. So we tried to cure it, but we knew already before the race that the problems were still there, and I had to control exactly the tires for the race. First race was a little bit easier because the pace car was in, so there was nearly 5 or 6. I don't remember exactly, but 5 or 6 laps running very gently. But for the long race, I knew that I had to try to follow Joe on the first laps to make a gap between me and the others, and that was good. But after that, I had to control my tires, and I had a little bit of problems. And at the end, I made a mistake because I thought that Uwe Alsen was there was further back. There is a big gap between me. I made a mistake with the board.
Actually, 2 third-place finishes. That's pretty good for the day.
Yes, I'm absolutely happy with my performance and the performance from the team and Michelin. I think we have a good car for this race, and especially for this race we become a new engine with a very good range from the power. And the car was very good, and that's all.
So now everybody packs up and gets ready to go on to the next stop, the Norrisring, the street course in the city of Nuremberg, Germany. But before that, time to do some celebrations. You can tell Winkelhock's won a few. Very good at it. That covers the race today here in the Sachsenring. We hope you enjoyed our coverage today. This is Milt Fitzwater reporting. Look forward to seeing you at the Norrisring.